Hi viewers, welcome to the revision session on time and distance. Okay, as we have discussing about various topics in time and distance, today we'll see a revision class combining all those topics and combining all those formulas that we have discussed so far. Okay, this is the basic formula, that is speed is equals to distance by time. Okay, so we have denoted the speed with v, and v is equals to distance by time, d by t. Okay, v is equals to d by t. And in order to convert some velocity in kilometers per hour into meter per seconds, we have to multiply it with 5 by 18. Okay, and next, to convert from meter per second to kilometers per hour, we have to multiply it by 18 by 5. Okay, and let us move on to the basic formulas that we have discussed while solving various problems. Okay, so for a same distance, if there are two different speeds and times, to find the distance, okay, this is the formula. Okay, in late, early, usual times, okay, there is a common distance. Okay, so with some velocity he will be reaching at some so and so time late. Okay, if velocity is increased, he will reach early. Okay, what is the distance between the 2 points? Okay, the distance between the office and the house. Okay, so for all those, the formula is distance is equals to delta t. You just have to remember, if both are early, you have to subtract. If both are late, you have to subtract. If one is early and one is late, you have to add. Okay, v1 v2 are the velocities. Okay, one will be less, one will be more, and in the denominator, the difference of velocities irrespective of the signs. Okay, and we come across this formula in lecture 4 and 5, and let us move on to the another formula. Here, if two persons or vehicles are separated by an initial distance, okay, so this we have used in a topic of chasing. Okay, so one policeman is there, one thief will be there. If thief saw the policeman, immediately he start running, and and at what time will they meet? It means that at what time the policeman catches the thief, after what distance the thief is caught by the policeman. Okay, like that the questions will be asked, and we know how to solve them. If two persons or vehicles separated by an initial distance, if they travel in the opposite direction from two stations, the distance between the two stations is. Okay, so it is the distance between the two stations. Okay, station A, station B will be there. One train starts from one station, the other starts from another station with the different velocities. Okay, and one train travels a bit more distance than the other train. Okay, that we need to take it as delta D. Okay, into v1 plus v2 by v1 minus v2. Okay, so this formula we have used in lectures 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so these are the brief of the formulas that we have used in the time and distance. Okay, so this is the basic formula, and these are the conversions. Okay, in order to convert from kilometer per hour to meter per seconds, 5 by 18, to convert from meter per second to kilometer per hour into 18 by 5. Okay, and these are all the formulas that we have used. Now let us solve, so far whatever the problems that we have solved, those are not at all sufficient here. We have to solve more and more problems to get perfection. Okay, so let us solve a few more problems. Okay, instead of explaining them on the board, I am just displaying here, and will just quickly solve them so that you can have more practice. You can be familiar with different kinds of problems that are expected to come from time and distance. Okay, so the question number 1, a car traveling with 5/7 of its actual speed covers 42 kilometers in 1 hour 40 minutes 48 seconds. So here they have given something in hours and something in minutes and something in seconds. Okay, so here the distance is in kilometers. Okay, and even our speed is in kilometer per hour. Okay, so you have to convert the whatever the time that is given in hours, minutes and seconds, you have to convert that into hours. Okay, so how to convert that? Okay, let us solve that. So the time taken is 1 hour 40 minutes 48 seconds. Okay, so we have to convert this into hours. Okay, let us see that. The first step is convert seconds into minutes. Okay, in order to convert the seconds into minutes, you have to divide the seconds by 60. Okay, so 48 by 60, that is 4 by 5, and whatever we have got, that 4 by 5 we have to add to the minutes. Okay, we have given this 40 minutes, right? 40 minutes plus 4 by 5. Okay, that comes out to be 204 by 5 minutes. Okay, next we have to convert the minutes into hours. Okay, so for that you have to divide this by 60. Okay, 204 by 5 by 60. 5 into 60, that will be 300. 204 by 300. Okay, and this you have to add to hours. Okay, it is 1 hour, right? So 1 plus this. Okay, finally we'll be getting 504 by 300, and after cancellation it will be 126 by 75. Okay, what is this? This is the time, and we know the distance, and they are just asking the velocity. Velocity is what? Velocity is distance by time, right? Distance we have known, and even the time. So we need to find the velocity. Okay, they have given in the problem that 5/7 of the speed is equals to so and so distance by time. Okay, so just you do whatever that has been given in the problem. Okay, if you just equate them, you will get the answer. Okay, 5v by 7 is equals to whatever is given in the problem. Okay, we have to find the speed. With the 5/7 of the speed, in order to cover 42 kilometers, it takes this much of time. Okay, so what will be the actual speed they are asking? So considering the actual speed as v, okay, so in our after equating this like this, okay, 5v by 7 is equals to this much. Okay, if we equate it, we can easily find out the velocity, and the velocity comes out to be 35 kilometers per hour. Okay, so our answer is D. Okay, that is 35 kilometers per hour. Next, question number 2. In covering a distance of 30 kilometers, Abhay takes 2 hours more than Samir. Okay, if Abhay doubles his speed, then he would take 1 hour less than Samir. Abhay's speed is, okay, so let us solve this. So we are considering the Abhay's speed as x kilometers per hour. Okay, so now we have to write this in the expression like this. Okay, so you know, in covering a distance of 30 kilometers, so here in the two cases the distance is being same, that is 30, and you know, in the first case his speed is x, we don't know that. That is the reason why we have denoted this like x. Okay, and in the second case the speed is doubled. Okay, that's why it is being 2x. Okay, the time difference between the two cases is, the distance is same, the speed is getting doubled, so that the time difference is 3 hours. Okay, so Abhay takes 2 hours more than Samir, and in the second case 1 hour less than Samir. One is more, one is less. What is delta t? You have to add them both. 2 hours plus 1 hour, that is 3 hours, and you know, you have to write this in this form. In the case 1, the velocity is less, so that you can take more time. Okay, that minus in the second case the speed is double, hence you take less time. The time difference between the two cases is 3 hours. If you just equate this like this, you can easily get the answer. Okay, that is x. X is nothing but the velocity, that is 5 kilometers per hour. Okay, so our answer is C. Next, question number 3. So in question number 3, it takes 8 hours for a 600 kilometers journey. If 120 kilometers is done by train and the rest by car, it takes 20 minutes more. If 200 kilometers is done by a train and the rest is by car, the ratio of the speeds of the train and that of cars is. Okay, so for this also we have to write down an expression where we are considering the speed of train as x and that of the car by y. Okay, and now we have to write this in this form. Okay, so in the first case, so we are traveling a distance of 120 by train. Okay, so as we have considering the velocity of the train as x, okay, this is the time expression, distance by velocity is equals to time, right? So plus 480 by y. Okay, so out of the 600 kilometers, if 120 is by train with this velocity, the remaining distance will be 480, which is traveled by a car with the speed of y kilometers per hour. Okay, so we have traveled it in 8 hours. Okay, so in the second case, 200 kilometers by the train and 400 kilometers by the car. Okay, so in the second case, it takes 20 minutes more, right? 20 minutes more, whatever is the time taken in the first case, that is 8 hours, 8 hours plus 20 minutes in hours. Okay, if you convert that 20 by 60, right? So that is 1 by 3. 8 plus 1 by 3 will be 25 by 3. Okay, so like that we'll be getting two expressions like this. Okay, this is first expression and this is the second one. And if you write this in a form of an equation, if you solve those equations, we'll get the values of, because we have two equations and two unknowns are there. If you solve them, you will get the x value and y values, which are nothing but the velocity of the train and the velocity of the car. Okay, so they are asking the ratios of the speeds. Okay, and so if you take the ratio of this will be 60:80, and finally that will be 3:4. So our answer will be 3:4, that is option C. Now let us solve the next question. So Robert, if travels on his cycle, reaches point A at 2 p.m. at 10 km per hour, he will reach there at 12 noon if he travels at 15 km per hour. So here we have two different velocities, and they are asking at what speed must he travel to reach the point A at 1 p.m. Okay, so we have solved these kind of problems. Okay, in that early, late, actual time. Okay, so similar to that we have to solve this. So here the delta t value is 2 hours, right? So in first case he has reached at 2 p.m. and in the second case 12 p.m. Okay, so the difference is 2 hours, and the formula for distance is delta t into v1 into v2 by v1 minus v2. So this is the formula for finding the distance between those 2 points. Okay, and in order to find the time to travel or to reach the point A at exactly 1 p.m. in order to find that, you can consider any of the given velocities. Okay, so if you consider the 10 kilometers per hour, okay, so he is reaching at 12 noon, right? So the what will be the time? So time is 6 hours, right? So if you take 6 hours, you will reach at 12 noon, but you have to reach at 1 p.m. Okay, so you have to take 1 hour less time. It means that you have to reach within 5 hours. So for that, if you take the distance and the time as 5 hours, your velocity should be 12 kilometers per hour. Okay, so this is how you have to solve this. So next problem, question number 5. If a person walks at 14 km per hour instead of 10 km per hour, he would have walked 20 kilometers more. The actual distance traveled by him is. Okay, so here the difference in velocities that corresponds to some distance. Okay, how to solve this? So let us see this. So let us consider the actual distance traveled by him as x kilometers. As per the question, we have to write this in an expression. Okay, so in the same time with the different velocities, okay, you will travel different distances. Okay, so here in order to travel x distance, you have to travel by 10 km per hour velocity. But if you increase your velocity, you can travel at 20 kilometers more distance within the same time. Okay, so like that you have to write this in this expression, and if you just equate it and solve it, you will easily get the x value, that is nothing but the distance, that is 50 kilometers. And next, last question. Here, a man covered a certain distance at some speed. Had he moved 3 km/h faster, he would have taken 40 minutes less. Okay, if he had moved 2 km/h slower, he would have taken 40 minutes more. The distance in kilometers is, here they have given two cases. Okay, in one case, if he increase his velocity by 3 km/h, the time will be reduced by 40 minutes. And if, in the second case, if he moved with a 2 km/h lesser velocity, he will take 40 minutes more time. Okay, so you have to write the two cases in two expressions like this. Okay, so here x is the distance and speed is the y. Okay, so distance by velocity, that corresponds to the time. Okay, so whatever the time that corresponds to this distance and speed, so if the distance is the same and if the speed is increased by 3 kilometers, he will reach there 40 minutes earlier. Okay, so the difference will be 40 minutes, and if you convert this into hours, that will be 40 by 60. Okay, so that if you can solve this, you will get this expression like this. Okay, you can get this into an expression like this, that is 2y into y plus 3 is equals to 9x, that is 1. If you decrease the velocity by 2 km/h, you will take 40 minutes more time to reach the same distance. Okay, so here and here the distance is being same, that is x, only the velocity is getting changed. Okay, so in the first case, if you increase the velocity by 3 km/h, you will reach 40 minutes early. If you reduce the velocity by 2 km/h, you will be late by 40 minutes. Okay, so like this you will get the two equations. If you just solve them, as you know, there are two unknowns and two equations, you can easily solve this. Okay, so finally we have to find the distance between the 2 points. Okay, that is 40 kilometers. Okay, this is that is 40 kilometers. Okay, this is how you have to solve all those problems. Okay, you have to make sure you remember all those basic formulas that we have discussed. Okay, and you have to be in a position to write your own expression by reading and understanding the question. Okay, so conceptually you have to solve all the questions. Okay, if you don't know the concept, you can't able to solve these kind of problems. You can only solve the level 1 problems. Okay, if you want to solve level 2 problems or level 3 problems, you must be familiar with the concept, the in-depth concept of the time and distance. Okay, just by remembering the formulas, you can't assure you can solve all those problems. You can solve only a few problems. Okay, in order to solve more number of problems from this topic, you must be thorough in your subject, in your concept. Okay, then only you will solve any problem from time and distance. Okay, so this is for now. With this we'll finish this topic and we'll start the next topic, that is boats and streams.